is up? My name is Mackenzie.
And I'm Jonathan.
We are husband and wife, and we'd like to welcome you to TerreDice.
And today we're taking you on a tour through our eyes of Gen Con 2022.
Now, for those that don't know, Gen Con is the largest board game convention in the U.S.
Huge.
And it takes place in Indianapolis every year, and it is a four-day week of like board games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jonathan got to go check it out this year. I unfortunately wasn't able to go because I am 8 months pregnant. And I am ginormous, and it would have been a lot. But he was able to go.
I was so sad that you weren't here. It was so much fun. But, you know, every single person that I went up to, the first thing they said was, "Hey, where's Mackenzie?" So she was very much missed by everybody.
I missed everyone, too.
So I did a bunch of things while I was there. I got kind of a travel vlog, so we're going to talk through a bunch of cool things live as they happened. I also had a bunch of cool Bark Avenue meetings, some very big things happening there.
Big announcement coming.
Yep. And then also saw a bunch of media previews, first looks, this whole giant hall over here of awesome games we're back. We've already played a few of them, so you've got some stuff to talk about too.
So let's dive into the eyes of Gen Con through TerreDice games. So when you first go into Gen Con, you have like your game that you're going for.
My mission.
Because everyone's like beelining for a certain game because like they're gonna sell out. And I would say that the game this year was Cat in the Box.
That was one of them.
Jonathan had 2 requests from at home to pick up a copy for them, and he wanted a copy himself. So were you successful?
Stood in line with the other 1,800 people who got it during the convention. And yes.
Cat in the Box?
Cat in the Box is a brand new trick-taking game by Bezier Games. What's unique about it is that all of the cards are black and white. You don't know what color they are. So when you play a card, you say, "This is the red 5." And then so that gets taken, no one else can play the red 5, and essentially you're going through the tricks trying to bet and win a certain number of tricks. Now the kind of tricky trick thing about this is that there are 5 of each number, but only 4 suits. So some of the cards just like won't exist and won't get played. And then there's this like meta game about like how you pick which ones you pick on the grid. It's so cool. But we will definitely be talking about this in an upcoming video. So we are told that there were approximately 50 to 55,000 attendees this year, which the biggest it ever had was like 70,000. So we're like almost back to pre-COVID numbers. I think a lot of the publishers were also pleasantly surprised because they brought 200, 300, 500 copies of games and they were selling out. And we're getting to the point where we're like 50 a day, and then once we sell out, we're done because I got to make sure the Sunday attendees get to see it. So there was a lot of that going on, which is great business for publishers.
Now, while you were there, what is some of your favorite things that you saw?
Oh gosh, yeah. So one of my favorite things about Gen Con is you see games you never would have picked up off the shelf on your own, be it because the box cover didn't interest you or you just never saw it in the first place. There was this game in particular that I think I was just most shocked by, and that was Fall of the Mountain King. So yeah, we ended up, right there. I brought it home, I liked it so much. But essentially you are, if you've seen Lord of the Rings, you know, Mines of Moria, The Fall of the Goblins, all dwarves, all that stuff. Essentially that, but you're cave trolls and the gnomes are coming in. And they're coming in hot. They're taking over those caves. The trolls are all gonna die. But your job is to go down in glory. So there's all these different family clans of trolls, and it's sort of an area control game where you're fighting for majority over your opponents, but that just means that when the gnomes come in the door, it's your trolls who die on the front lines instead of theirs. So you're not actively sort of hurting or pushing out the other players, but you'll kind of get those points and then you'll start to lose that area majority. It also has a very interesting action system based on your cards and these proximity things. Very, very cool. In general, they're sort of co-company kids table board games. They also had several other games that just had gorgeous graphic design. I don't think I'd seen a lot of them. Creature Comforts I'd played, which is kind of probably their biggest one that's hot right now. But I also played a game called Wreck Raiders that we brought home. That one you really liked.
I really enjoyed this game. I've already gotten a chance to play it. It was, I think, the first game we broke out when he came home because he's like, "You're gonna love this." And what I like about it, it's one of the first like ocean-themed games that's like thematic, and it's actually about like ocean and scuba diving.
Yeah,
so I enjoy it.
We're raiding these 4 wreck sites where we're trying to get like jewels and swords and treasures and things.
Yeah.
And you actually, if you ever find treasure when you're sitting next to other scuba divers, they also see it and they get some treasure too. And then it's got this really fun set collection aspect. I really like it. But I did get a chance to speak to the graphic designer, and I was like, who did your graphic design? And he's like, I did. I was like, it was so cool just because they have such incredible, but it's in-house. I would so use them. Okay, so another thing that I did was I called Mackenzie every 5 minutes to tell her about something cool. So we didn't talk about this, but what was something that I called you and told you about that got you excited?
Kites. Kites was
yeah,
a game.
yeah.
Let me pull it down. So this is by Floodgate Games, and we got to try this out. You said this was like a surprise hit of like their table, right?
I knew it would be. I read that description. I was like, I want to go check that thing out.
Yeah, so
but
Kites
yeah.
is like a fast-paced, real-time party game where you're trying to keep your kites up in the air, and you do that by matching, trying to put out different colors before the stand timer runs out. And I just love games that like are anxiety-driven, that like people they're gonna speed and like everyone starts screaming to try and keep the kites up in the air. So there was this really hot game that you had to get and use because you said you wanted to be those people that walk around with the giant boxes. And you called me and you're like, I got it. It was the first day. And what was that game? It
was My Father's Work. Yeah. I got like the Kickstarter deluxe big ridiculous carton thing. Yeah. I don't know. You see those people at the conventions who walk around with the giant like box set like Simon thing that's like this big. And I was like, you know what? I want to be that person. We have a lot of big life events happening right now. I've got the baby coming. We just had the Kickstarter. So I was like, I want to get a big deluxe metal ridiculous game. It's like Victorian era scientist, like Mad Frankenstein basically, and you're following in your father's footsteps, like trying to do cool experiments and stuff. The funniest part about it was I think they had maybe 50-ish copies, and when I got to the booth I couldn't find them, and I was like, hey, do you have any more My Father's Work? And they're like, those are the 2 last copies over there. And there's this big group like huddled around them looking at one of the copies. And so she ran over and grabbed a copy for me, and she's like, here, I got you a copy. And right when she grabbed it, everyone else in that group like looked at each other, and then one person just like grabbed it and walked away.
Now, you also went to an AEG event. What did you pick up there? AEG, for those that don't know, is a publisher that they have come out with Tiny Towns, which you guys might be familiar with, and then a bunch of other really fun ones. Rolling Heights.
Calico, Cascadia. Yep. They showed me lots of cool videos of things coming next year, which I'm very excited about. They talked about the Dead Reckoning Kickstarter, which is live right now. I put for Letters of Marquee. I'll put a link in the description. Go check it out. They've already smashed their goal day one, which was just like awesome to see. So they got from that, they gave us a real Spanish pirate coin from like 1400 to 1600. So this thing's like so cool. So I definitely was such an awesome event.
Yeah.
We got to check out a new John D. Clare game called Ready, Set, Bet, where you're betting on horse racing. We got to see a new game by Scott McPherson called Wormholes. He's the designer of Tiny Towns and the upcoming Fit to Print. That game was also really sweet, kind of cool, pick up and deliver. It's like kind of like Bark Avenue in space if you look at it with wormholes. And then we got to hear from the designer of That Old Wallpaper, which is a new card game where you're trying to remember what your grandma's wallpaper looked like.
So we've been talking a lot about games, but we haven't talked about the big elephant in the room, and that is the big dog in the room. And that is what is up with Bark Avenue.
Who let the dogs out?
Now, if you were at Gen Con, you might have seen a little something you might not have expected. So we're here to tell you all the news. So Bark Avenue is, if you don't know, it is our game that we funded fully on Kickstarter in June, at the end of June. And it is coming out in a Kickstarter edition next year sometime.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it is a competitive dog walking game on the streets of New York where you're trying to walk dogs and earn the most money before the sun sets.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're excited to announce is that there is going to be a retail version of Bark Avenue.
Yay!
Yay! So what that means is that Good Games Publishing reached out to us. They are known for creating games such as Funfair and Land vs. Sea and a bunch of other really great games. Mm-hmm. And they are very interested in the game. And so we've decided to partner with them as TerreDice is the design studio, and they're going to help publish the game into retail, which is amazing, which is so great because that was our hopes and dreams for Bark Avenue at the beginning, and where I feel like Bark Avenue belongs is in retail. And I just feel like this is a really great step that we didn't realize was going to come this fast for it. Yeah. And they're leaving total design control in TerreDice's hands, and we are still going to be handling the Kickstarter rollout, so it will still be us behind that, and they're going to help us get it there. But what that meant was we got to be on their poster and got to demo Bark Avenue at Gen Con.
So we're here at the Good Games Publishing booth. They are featuring our game Bark Avenue is right there. Just so exciting. So we have it set up on the table just around over here. So we've been running demos throughout the afternoon and we'll be running many more. So it's very exciting stuff. It's just awesome to see it here. They had their own demos who I taught the game the first night that we were there, and then they were able to help out, which was super helpful. But I probably myself did 30, 40 plus demos of the game where I was just showing it kind of time after time. It felt a lot like our playtesting days.
Yeah.
But it was so cool because I met probably almost 24 backers who came up and said, I backed Bark Avenue. I was like, wow, thank you so much. Because this is one of those games that would not have existed without Kickstarter. Like, there's no way. So it was just so amazing to meet these people. Also, some of them, at least one of them had their dog in the game.
That was cool.
And we could show them their card because their art was already done.
Yeah.
So that was like really exciting. I also got to meet all of the kind of content creators who helped to do reviews for it. So got to talk to Monique and Naveen and talk to Professor Meg and all these other fun people who came over and showed their love for Bark Avenue. So that was really cool to see.
Yeah, so that was so surreal to be able to get pictures like on my end of our giant poster of Bark Avenue on the wall. And like you said, like people could just see it from across the convention center.
Yeah.
And we're like, dogs, I want to go check that out. So that was really exciting. And some of you might be wondering, what is the difference between the Kickstarter edition and the retail version? So what it is so the Kickstarter edition, everyone's going to be getting squishy poops. It's basically everything that was on the page. That's what you're getting. So everyone will get squishy poops, dual layer boards, and
3 extra event cards.
3 extra event cards, and then the retail version is going to be more simplified, just so we can hit that price point with retail. So cardboard poops and single layered boards, stuff like that.
Cheaper insert, that kind of thing.
So depending on what you want, if you're still interested in Bark Avenue, the late pledge is open right now. You can still get a copy of the Kickstarter edition. So if you can click the link below if you want to go check that out, we would really appreciate it. But that is an option for you as well.
Okay, so I want to take a moment to talk about the weird stuff I saw, because I think the weird stuff is the most fun.
Okay.
I saw this game called Moonshine Empire, where you are making moonshine in the swamp, trying to get it to Pappy, who lives in the cabin in the middle, and all the people you recruit to help you are your cousins. And I just thought it was so kind of just like really funny theme. A lot of really cute games too, like Ducks in Tow. You literally have your little ducks all in a row following you and sort of like pick up and deliver where you want to take them. Also, XYZ Game Labs was doing a Bigfoot monster jam.
Oh my gosh, that was crazy.
Yeah, so they had the original Bigfoot, which was like the first monster truck, just like driven into the convention hall. And then they have this giant game where you've got monster trucks, you're smashing stuff, you're jumping, you're getting points. And the dice were big rubber squishy tires. So like you roll a monster truck tire, and that's what says kind of what your movement and your cards are like.
Yeah.
So.
And then you also sent me, what was the game? It was a giant mail truck.
Oh,
what was
yes.
happening there?
The USPS, Great American Mail Race, I think is what it's called. But essentially, it's like a USPS Postal Service game where you're delivering mail. You get points for like having same-day delivery and all this other stuff. What I loved was they had an actual mail truck, and then all the people were dressed like mailmen and mailwomen, which is just so fun. First of all, I must apologize profusely that a hot Disney game has gone unreviewed on this channel for like several months, and that is Disney's Sorcerer's Arena.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were like heads down with Bark Avenue doing our thing, and then we come back and we're like, what the heck? There's another Disney game? So it is a kind of smash 'em up if you played Unmatched, which we love that. Kind of battle frenzy arena game between Disney characters. You may also recognize it because it's a mobile app game, which I've definitely played before. But essentially it's a bunch of Disney characters fighting each other, some of them good, some of them bad. You could do heroes, villains, mix it up. But they've come up with some really cool characters to put in the game. So it's got fun card play. You got characters like Demona and the Horn King and Jack Skellington. just like really fun battle characters, including Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey, one of my favorites. So anyway, they showed us both the new expansion that just released recently, as well as a new expansion that's coming out in September, October timeframe.
And then moving down the Disney line, this is from a company that we love to review. Funko Games just had a game come out, and I'm going to pull it down because we have mentioned this earlier, but we have a copy. It's a Goofy movie game. So this is a game that all those 90s kids that are now parents now to be able to introduce a Goofy movie to their kids. I really like it. It has a lot of hidden mechanics in it that you were saying that hide that's true.
Yeah. Okay, so it says 7+ on the box.
Yeah.
But this has set collection. This has hidden goals. It goes pretty deep. And what was surprising, I think, is that the teach was 30 seconds.
Yes.
It's like you roll the die, you move there, you collect the card, and do that till you get to the concert at Power Line. But once you start to read the cards, it's like 2 points per this that I have, 3 points per set of 2 that I have. You start reading them and trying to do that, all of a sudden you're playing a really complex set collection game. So they did some really unique stuff. I think we're going to cover this because the way that they did it, the teaching mechanisms are excellent.
Jonathan was invited to an event where he got to meet the voices of Max and Goofy. Funko invited them to Gen Con, and they were signing people's copies and doing meet and greets, and they did a talk back about the game. And he got it signed for me. And not only did he get it signed, he got Max and Goofy to send me a video. It was amazing. Check it out.
You're good.
Mackenzie, what's going on? It's Goofy and Max here. We're sorry. We're sorry that you can't be here with us, but we
signed the game for you.
That's right, and your daughter Maxine is gonna love it.
Wasn't that amazing? He's so nice. I asked him to record something for TerreDice, and he recorded it for me. So that was really special. And Max and Goofy, I appreciate you so, so much.
Yes, so while I was talking with the team from Funko, I also heard about a lot of their new stuff that's coming out. Rear Window is another game that we're really excited to check out. It's an Alfred Hitchcock murder mystery where the director is an unreliable sort of source of information. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And then they also showed me their new Funkoverse line. So they're going wild with this one. They got Squid Game Funkoverse coming out. And it's got like a bloody red light, green light kind of board. It's insane. It like totally breaks my sort of perception that it's a kid's game. So I don't really know what to think about it, but it is what it is. E.T. 2, they have a E.T. game that I really like the bikes they attach and can kind of ride with each other, sort of pick up and deliver deal with co-op, and you got the, you can put E.T. in the bicycle, which is kind of fun.
Gen Con lists lots of other stuff, like there's board game stuff going on where you can see the new games. There's also lots of classes you can take.
Tournaments too.
Yeah, and tournaments, and you randomly got roped into a tournament.
Yeah, so check this clip out. All right, I'm here with Jacqueline, our solo designer.
Hi.
And we are headed to the One Night Ultimate Werewolf World Championship, whatever that means. So we're very excited. Someone came up to us and said, I have to leave, would you like my 2 tickets? And we said, yes. So we are going to compete. I feel like we're pretty good at Werewolf, One Night Ultimate Werewolf. Yeah, I think it'll go well.
Catch the werewolves.
So,
We're definitely not going to be the werewolves. Not at all.
Not a werewolf. Not a werewolf. Yep, so we'll see what happens.
It's going to be great.
So yeah, we did like a One Night Ultimate Werewolf tournament.
Yeah, so you left us on a cliffhanger. Yeah. How'd you do?
I did pretty well. So I played 6 games and I got 3 wins as a werewolf. So everyone was very good. I'm usually pretty good at werewolf, so that was a tough scene. But it was a lot of fun. The people who won that ended up getting like ultimate werewolf collection, which is kind of cool.
Like people are like, how do you do 4 days of games? Like, oh my gosh. There's so much to do, and people stay. There's a 24-hour game hall, right?
Yeah, people are playing all hours. I mean, I went till 2 a.m. in a hotel, so.
Yes, so it is absolutely amazing.
Okay, so reviews coming out of Gen Con. We got the AEG stuff, we got Wormholes, That Old Wallpaper, and Ready, Set, Bet, John D. Clare. We also have Kites from Floodgate Games, and we have from Cosmos, we're going to have Lord of the Rings Exit, which I'm very excited to check out, as well as Catch the Moon, which is like you're stacking ladders, and it's sort of like reverse Jenga. Looks very fun. And then we will also be getting Northgard over from Hachette, which is based on the Northgard video game series. absolutely excellent. So very, very excited to cover that one once that comes in. And then from the op, we have Sorcerer's Arena and Mountains Out of Molehills, which is a programming game with some very, very kind of really cute mechanics and some neat things going on. And from Funko, we have the Goofy movie and Rear Window, which the Funko team does such an excellent job with their games. We're excited to see what they do with these ones.
So these are all reviews that will be coming out over a certain amount of time. I will have to take maternity leave at some point. This baby will be coming, so we're going to try and pre-record as much as we can as possible. But if some of these get delayed a little, please bear with us. They will be coming out, but we're very excited to be able to share all of that content with you. So if Gen Con sounds interesting to you and you want to check it out, but you're like, oh, that might be a little big, or I don't want to have to wait until next year, there's a lot of other conventions that happen around the US as well. One we like to go to is PAX Unplugged. That happens in Philadelphia in December.
Yes.
So you can go check that one out. It's a little smaller, but a lot of the same games. There's also Dice Tower East. Right?
Yeah, Dice Tower East to West, those are nice and small. BGG Con, that's another one.
Yep, there's also Origins,
yeah.
which is in Ohio. So lots of different types of conventions and maybe one closer to your area. Yeah. Anyway, there are lots of ways that you can get into this community as well.
All in all, I had a wonderful time. It was absolutely worth going. This year was something extra special with the Bark Avenue stuff going on.
Yeah.
So it was the right place to be. It was great. Yeah.
To me, the transformation of 2021, if you've been here since last year, you would go watch our tape. We talk about playtesting Bark Avenue.
Yeah.
So to see it now, like people playing it in the hall, that was like my dream last year. To see it actually come true, it's really exciting. And I can't wait to see what 2023 brings. I just can't wait. Yeah. So if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can know whenever we put out a new video. And we'll see you next time, guys.
Happy playing!